This is a very quick tutorial on using Chrome Developer Tool. Um, the Chrome Developer Tools, you can get to them by clicking here, then going to Tools, and then Developer Tools. I know you can't see that. Or you can just right-click anywhere, go Inspect Element, and they will pop up right here. Before I get going, I want to mention that these are for Chrome, the Chrome web browser. For Firefox, you can use Firebug, which is very similar. In fact, Firebug was the first developer tool environment. Safari also has developer tools, and as I understand it, Internet Explorer also has developer tools. I haven't used those two, so I don't know much about them. Firebug is very similar to Chrome. So there you go. Now back here, so you right click, you say inspect element, and it'll pop this up. So we have all these tabs up here. First thing, if you click on the elements tab, what you're going to see here, this is the HTML that builds this page. Right? And you notice as I move my mouse around, it highlights a specific area up there. So let me open that table. You have this, you can open and close the HTML. And you see the whole page is like a big table, and it has all these rows, and as I move my mouse it shows me the particular row that I'm on. If I click on it, it'll stop. It'll highlight that and it'll tell me what the particular path is and the CSS style. Over here we have the CSS style for the currently selected element. If I click on that, it'll change. If I click on that, it'll change. We can also go the other way around. If you click here, then when we go to the page, you can see the little boxes follow me as I move. So say I'm here and click on that. The moment I clicked on it, down here, it's showing me the HTML that generates that particular piece of the screen. So this is very useful when you're on some other web page and you want to know how did they do that. You can fire up Chrome, the developer tools, and use that to find out the particular HTML and CSS that generated that. Once you're there, then you can double click there and change the text, start a discussion, and you see it changes it right there on the page, so I can immediately see how things might look. Obviously, this is only changing it on my browser. Nothing's happening on the server, so this is all completely local. But it's nice. So I can do that. Can change. Let me do another. So I'm in that. This is. I selected that. That's that whole row, and then I can change the style over here. So this is the CSS that refers to a document. You can say text align. And go to the right. You can see I did that. And the text align to the right. Now that was only for that element. The element.style. So it basically means inline. You see it's right here. I do notice that this row has a class of subtext, which is right here. So let's do that. Let's go over here and add the same thing. Text right. And now all the rows, because I'm assuming all the rows are of class subtext. This might not make much sense right now. Once you learn all about CSS and HTML, you'll see what these things mean. But the point is that you can go in and change the HTML and the CSS under the Elements tab. Now there are all these other tabs, and the next one that's important, notice how, by the way, you can open these up and you can see the various files in the head that get loaded. You click on the file, then you'll see the actual code. And you see when I click on the file, it sent me over to the Sources tab. The Sources tab shows me the various sources that were used to generate the page. Mostly in this case the CSS and the HTML. So I can go here, the CSS. The network tab is very useful. So I'm going to reload the page, and you see as I reloaded, I get all this. The way this works is, I'm going to go up here. It's bigger. The way this works is it goes sort of down, up, and each one of these, the first thing we did was we did a get to this page, that bigger. We did a get to this page that returned okay, and over here it tells me the size and the time, and there's this cool timeline that tells me that we spent um, 50 milliseconds connecting, then we waited 56 milliseconds, then we started getting all the data, and that took 176 milliseconds. So I can know exactly how long things take. Then somewhere, around here, we started to get the JavaScript file, right? So what happens is you start downloading, the browser starts downloading the HTML file. When it gets to the script tags, it says, oh, I have to download this script, iframe raw. So I'm gonna go get that. And so I went to get that. And the things we see here, if I click, that's not popping up, but oh, there it is. Well, you can't see that out of the screen, but it says 166 milliseconds latency, 0 download. Because it was from cache, it says there, it's out of the screen. But because I had already been to this page, I hit reload. So, and this page had already been downloaded to the browser. It doesn't need to be downloaded again, so the browser just used the one in the cache. So it still has to go to the server, ask it, has that file changed? The server says no. That's what took 186 milliseconds. And then the browser decided, well, I don't need to download it, so that took 0 milliseconds. Then the browser, also has to download the CSS file, the various PNG files, images. You see the images here. If you click on one of these, and you get details about the particular request. You get the headers, the request headers, and the response. So remember, request headers are the ones we send to the server. Responses are the ones we get back. For the images, you get a nice preview here. So it actually shows you the picture itself, and then any cookies that were sent, timing. So this is very useful when you are trying to figure out how long things take, and especially if when you start doing Ajax stuff, and are you getting the right response or not, and what's going on. Look at down here, you can also filter these. So right now I'm getting all the requests. If I wanted to only get the Ajax requests, I click there, and you see there are no Ajax requests on this page. If I only wanted the images, I can click there. I will get the images, or only the images. And here I'm getting all. So that's the Elements tab, the Network tab. Those are the two main ones where you're going to spend most of your time. Well, then this one is also useful because you can see the various files, and then the local storage and session storage and cookies that this page uses. Look at the cookies. Site has no cookies yet. Then so timeline and profile and audits, you're going to use those more when you have a developed website and you want to time it and test it to see how fast it runs and what is slow about it. So I'm not going to go into those now. The console, however, you will use a lot. So this is basically a JavaScript console. So you can type JavaScript and it will run the JavaScript as you type it. So page hi. And you can then, this will be very useful when you start writing JavaScript, and because the JavaScript code that you run here runs in the same place as the page, right? So first it's going to load all the JavaScript that the page loads, and then it's going to let you mess around with on here. So you can use this to test your JavaScript code in the page itself.